The rise of esports is pretty much people playing games growing up and being a little older and being a little more invested in them and then turning it into something a little bit more than just playing casually. It's what people want to watch. And the reality of it is that even if people can't grasp the concept, they know someone who loves video games. And when you want to ask them, do you want to watch video games? They're going to say yeah. You don't have to understand esports to understand that everyone you know loves video games, and they would all be more willing to watch that than maybe some current content or some older content.
Esports is simply the idea of merging gaming and sporting events. Competitive video games are one of the fastest growing forms of entertainment today. Millions tuned in this year to watch gaming tournaments. Over 1 billion esports videos were streamed this year in the United States. This phenomenon is only just getting started.
I think video games can be the next really big televised thing. If you look on Twitch, there's many games that hit really high numbers, such as like when it's the World Finals for League of Legends. They consistently hit like really big numbers, and they sell out tickets really fast, and it's really crazy to watch. But I think it's headed in that direction. There's multiple avenues of making it into esports. You could do commentary. You can be a personality who plays the game. Like, there's people who aren't necessarily winning everything, but they are the life of the tournament.
Hey, what do you want me to do?
I've been seeing in the rise of esports is like a lot more big name sponsors are coming out and supporting events.
Gaming, as we all grew up playing it when we were young, was really about playing with our friends, playing with people we knew. So gaming, now that it's more accepted, we want to look at that and really bring people together and celebrate, hey, it's cool to play games now, right? You're no longer shunned, you're no longer told not to play games anymore. Hey, it's okay to play, have fun, compete, and maybe even make a career out of it.
There's a lot of opportunity out there right now for esports, and it's only gonna get bigger. Let your kids play the games. You never know where they might end up.
For decades, worried parents warned their kids that too much game playing would kill brain cells and rot their brains. But a number of research studies suggest that combination just doesn't exist.
There is a small population that still think gaming is too toxic to a child, especially at a young age. But as they get older, parents see the benefits of, hey, gaming can keep my child occupied, off the streets. The mentality has changed a bit, and you can kind of see it how when you go look at events, you see parents in the audience or parents behind the kid, like such as here, watching them play and supporting that.
It's just a stereotypical ideology. If you just sit there and play the game, you stare at the screen all day, of course your brain's going to disappear. But if you're actively thinking and you're really thinking about your decisions and you're practicing and you're really putting in the time to get better at the game, there's a lot of motor skills, there's a lot of cognitive things that you're going to develop. So it's not just sitting there and staring at the screen. There's a lot more to it.
They have an outdated vision of what gaming is, and I think they just have to, maybe do some research on video games. I feel like maybe some people don't know that you can make a career out of video games. I think it comes from just like people don't like their kids sitting in front of the TV for too long.
I think before esports really took place, people were like, I need to stop playing games, it's a little bit too much. I'm a little bit older now, but with this current generation, it's a lot more accepted, and it's even become into its own part of like the entertainment industry. So the rise of esports really it's a really interesting thing, and it really just has to do with a lot of people who love playing games, growing up and carrying games into their daily life as opposed to dropping them. I think video games has become more mainstream. So the negative, stigma that comes with it is slowly fading, but there's those people that are still holding on to it. And it's like just,
give it a shot, or at the very least, don't knock it till you try it. I can't think of anything bad that's necessarily in my life because I played a lot of video games.
I definitely feel like video games are kind of still the scapegoat of a lot of media reactions, and it's pretty similar to the way that television was treated when I was growing up. So I do feel that it's lagging a bit behind, but I also don't feel that it's out of the ordinary. And I do feel that in a few years, maybe a decade or two, they'll have moved on to the next new controversial thing. I don't understand the take that video games rot the brain, considering that at least it engages you to some degree. Even the most I guess casual games involve some sort of mental analysis and thinking, as opposed to something more socially accepted, like say watching sports. Like many people think of them as sports fans. They follow every game, but then all you're doing is watching somebody else play on the game. And if anything, I feel like that would rot you more, not less. I feel like video games should be seen as a hobby like anything else. You don't say that playing football is rotting your brain. You don't say that carpentry is rotting your brain. You don't say that knitting is rotting your brain. So why should video games be any different?
It's only caused good things in my life so far. So why people still think that video games are for, kids, or people think, oh, don't be a nerd, you don't sit there and play the game all day, or nerds are some of the best people in our society, so like, just I don't know. If you can't do it, don't belittle the achievements of others.
Still to come, conquering the cash.
There's no stopping to how big it can get.
Why the business of esports has just begun to boom.